Hello, 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 hello. Hello, people, and Merry Christmas to everyone around the world who is watching, who is liking, subscribing, commenting. Merry Christmas to everyone in the world. Hope you're having a great time. I know that some places people celebrate Christmas on the 25th. I know that some places they celebrate on 24th. I celebrate it on 24th where I live, so 25th for me. It's a bit of a free one, I'm not gonna lie. So we are doing live, we are going live. Arsenal versus Brighton preview. Players must step up, and my camera is still out of focus. How is that even a thing? Give me a second. How is that even a thing? There we go. Arsenal versus Brighton preview. The players must step up. Pressure is rising. I'm not gonna lie. Based on the last three performances, the pressure is mounting. The pressure is rising. It's going into, to some degree, stratosphere. Even it's not there yet, but it's getting close to that. So we're gonna talk about the all this stuff. Let's talk about chill, relaxing vibes, about football, about Arsenal, of course, Premier League, how everything is going, and all that stuff. Of course, we're gonna do a predicted 11 and everything that comes with. But yeah, people, like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, don't forget to leave your thoughts down in the live chat so we can tackle them, we can discuss them, and we can go from there, of course. But yeah, big up everyone. Big up Marlon. Big up. He's already with our 10 out. Merry Christmas, Marlon. Merry Christmas. Big up Gooner. Merry Christmas, you too, my guy. Hope everything's fine with you. Hope everything's doing great. And hope Christmas is fine with you as well, of course. Hope everything is well in your world, spending time with family, friends, and loved ones. Everything is fine in your realms. But yeah, obviously, we didn't do a reaction to Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. The Carabao Cup game we won on penalties a few days ago. Nothing much to talk about. Again, in the first half, it was typical Arsenal. Obviously, without Odegaard, we looked much better in the attack. Jesus in the 9. It looked quite promising. It's just we couldn't finish our dinner. Something we are expected to see from Arsenal to a certain degree. And from that point of view, it basically gave me vibes of old days against Bayern Munich, against Atletico Madrid, against other teams where we miss our chances, they get saved, we misfire them, and everything goes down the haywire. And then Arsenal basically just think out the plays. Best case scenario, obviously they get the win. But if there was no extra time, no penalty, well, there was no penalties, it would have been a draw at the end of the day because Gehi scored in the final minutes. Arsenal again haven't managed to score a goal. 3 games running. By the way, it's not like it's one game occasion, but 3 games in a row. Arsenal haven't scored a goal from open play. 3 own goals, 2 from Wolves, 1 from Crystal Palace, from Lacroix, and of course a penalty from Victor Gyökeres in the 1-0 win against Everton. And that's about it. Arsenal have not been that great. At the same time, when I'm saying this, we have created chances to score, which is the nuts part, yet we cannot put them in the back of the net. Where a goalkeeper makes a phenomenal save, whether something goes wrong, we still cannot score from open play, which is, again, a big worry right now, especially since we are going to face Brighton. And afterwards, we are facing Aston Villa, which definitely it's not going to be an easy game. A Villa game, again, is a midweek game just before the New Year's. So definitely Arsenal have their work cut out for themselves. But right now, for today, we're going to focus, of course, on... We're going to focus on Brighton. So far, Arsenal are still on top of the table. Arsenal basically... awaited Christmas, sitting on top of the table. 2 points above City, 3 points above Aston Villa. Rest of the teams are a bit further behind, of course. But it's not looking that great as it may seem. Yes, we are on top of the table, which is great. We also have seen the graphs that the teams that usually are at the top on Christmas tend to win the league. But with Arsenal, the issue is that the Arsenal have been on top of the table by Christmas 4 times, and we have not won the league any of those 4 times, which obviously is a very big issue. And the last 2 times Arsenal were first, we were obviously 5 points above City, and the year afterwards, and it wasn't great. Right now, Arsenal are staying 2 points above everyone in the table, and the margin for error is pretty much non-existent. Let's be real, the margin for error is pretty much non-existent. And looking at the schedule Arsenal have coming up right now, even Brighton and Aston Villa, and then looking at the January schedule, we have teams we struggle against away, and we have teams that are 50-50 when we play against them, even at home. At home, we play United and Liverpool, and then we have lots and lots of tough games. Let's be real, like teams against Bournemouth. Like, shouldn't be a tough game, but how Arsenal fare against Bournemouth away, that already is a big worry. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, we are now focusing on Brighton, and against Brighton, it's going to be tough. Last year against Brighton, it wasn't easy at home. Obviously, we got that stupid red card, which resulted in us playing with 10 men. Despite all that, we actually could have won the game. Havertz missed the chance to go when going out one-on-one with the keeper. That Bukayo Saka was a bit too short and didn't manage to basically stretch himself towards the ball to try to redirect it. Then again, saying that, Ayari had a very good shot on target, which was saved by Raya in the empty corner to some degree. So it was a very 50-50 one, and Brighton is one of those teams that Arsenal, yes, they can beat them very comfortably most of the times, but also many times we tend to struggle against them. There is no argument about that. Brighton is one of those teams that is very tough task for Arsenal. It solely depends pretty much on the level of what type of Brighton turns up to the game, because you can get a Brighton which Arsenal can smack 3-4-0, which goes light work. Nobody is too bothered about it. Then again, it could be Brighton which puts Arsenal to the sword and pushes them to the limits. And looking at our latest record, that we in last 3 games haven't scored from open play. Even though we have created chances, we haven't scored from open play. And we have basically won the games thanks to own goals, pretty much. It's not a great sign. And Brighton definitely is not one of those that should be taken lightly. Apparently, also, Danny Welbeck is going to be back for Brighton, so definitely an extra weapon in their locker in that regard. And it's definitely going to be interesting to see how Arsenal maneuver these type of situations. Looking at Arsenal with the injury troubles, with players being off form, and yeah, it's very hard to describe what type of form Arsenal players are even in, because even though we create chances, we tend to miss them most of the time. And when we don't create chances, we don't. So I would say overall, Arsenal are off form, and it's not looking great. Let's just put it that way. Big up, Wahaha. Big up, Wahaha. Hope you're doing well today, brother. And Merry Christmas to you too. Big up, Darren. Big up, Darren. Merry Christmas to you too, my brother. Hope everything's fine with you. And yeah, it will be very interesting to see how everything goes. But yeah, since we didn't review the Crystal Palace game, we're gonna touch upon it a tiny bit today. We need to talk about it, because the performance in the first half, even though it was good, we didn't have the finishing touch, which obviously screwed us over. It was nice to see Eze in the 10. It was very nice to see Jesus in the 9. You can really see that when we play Jesus in the 9, we look much better. Also, Odegaard being on the bench, we also look much better. Saying that, we actually, in the second half, we were I don't want to say tragic, but we were bad. We were really bad, and that has been a very big issue with Arsenal in recent times. We have had a few games where the second half basically has saved our bacon, for example, like against Atletico Madrid. But many times when Arsenal come out to the second half, we are just not it. We are not on it. We have disappeared, and the other team takes the reins. And of course, Arteta is still not learning from his mistakes. He made 4 subs. Okay, cool. Took all the attacking players, but it felt like off. He took the strikers off to try to hold on to the 1-0 lead. Then instead of playing the proper football, and we conceded. Who could have saw that coming? Let's be real, because we saw the same things. We saw the same things against Wolves, against Sunderland. Like, the proof is in the pudding. We have seen it before, and somehow Arteta is not learning from these mistakes. He's still repeating them game in, game out to some degree at times. Because as soon as we are a goal 2 up and we are closing in on the end part of the game, we tend to park the bus. We tend to invite the pressure. And that one thing over the last 2 years that has been very evident is that Arsenal don't do good when we invite the pressure, actually. And that for me is a big worry, because if we keep playing like this, at some point it is going to cost us, because against Wolves, 2 own goals, that saved our bacon, right? Against Crystal Palace, right? If this was Premier League, it would have been a draw. We would have lost 2 valuable points. And let's be real, City would have caught us up, and most likely Aston Villa would have been only 1 point if this Palace game was in the Premier League. So it's very evident that Arsenal are struggling at times, and Arteta is not. And the team itself, to be honest, it feels like is not learning from its mistakes, that as soon as they go goals up, they should be still going forwards. They should be maintaining the level, the intensity. because as soon as we sit back and invite the pressure, it kind of comes to with a feeling that we don't know how to handle that. The players don't know how to handle that. They tend to panic and they tend to lose some focus, because when we play mid game, this type of scenarios happen. We don't make the same mistakes we do when we basically sit back. And that is a big worry for me personally. But in the end, we were very lucky. Obviously, Kepa was in goal, and he didn't make any penalty save until the 8th penalty when he saved Lacroix's penalty. To some degree, Lacroix was man of the match for Arsenal because he scored the one goal we needed, and he actually missed the penalty we needed to go through to some degree. But yeah, it was not great. I'm not going to lie, it was not great. Still leaves a very sour taste in our mouth, but nonetheless, we move into semifinals. The first one is played on January 14th, if I'm not mistaken, and it's against Chelsea. It's going to be interesting to see how Arsenal fare against Chelsea, because in the last few years, Chelsea have become a bit of a thorn in our side. As much as people may take some mick out of them for spending so much money and everything, they are starting to piece it together. Things are looking up for them. Yes, they still need about 3-4 signings, I would say, two center backs, goalkeeper, maybe another striker or a midfielder, plus minus, depending. But overall, they are piecing it together, and it's starting to look very good for them. Yes, they have won Conference League. Yes, they have won Club World Cup. But they are still way too inconsistent to my liking. So it's going to be interesting to see how Arsenal fare does in cup competitions. And Maresca has shown that in cup competitions, he's actually pretty darn good. So Arsenal will have another challenge in front of them. Let's just put it that way. But Bigger Fusion. Bigger Fusion is not jazz. Merry Christmas. Bigger. Since we didn't do the press conference then, we're going to do it now. I know people hate it, but I just want to see what Mikel Arteta said about the game after Crystal Palace game, because I'm not going to lie. As soon as Arsenal, the game finished in the Carabao Cup, the penalties, I switched off football. I haven't been on football since December 23rd, which means now exactly more or less 48 hours, I haven't pretty much followed football at all. Maybe something I have seen on Twitter, and that's about it. I haven't seen anything anywhere else. Haven't watched any streams. I have liked a few, sit there for 5 minutes, but overall haven't seen any. Haven't watched any games, haven't done anything. So right now, this is my football intake after 2 days. Feel a bit hungover without football, I'm not going to lie. Big up Mubarak, big up. The key challenges for Arteta, tactical flexibility. Arteta relies on the same system, but our midfielders always, the thing is, our midfielders always kill the pace, but Merino has no pace. What's its face? Norgard has no pace. Odegaard maybe has a bit of pace, but he kills the game himself. He's very slow by default. And then there's only Rice, who runs every game 200 miles an hour. And by the 60th minute, he feels like he's going to faint, and because he's out of energy. And we have nobody to substitute him with. Thank God he is so resilient and so durable. Plus, on top of all that, he is actually very injury durable. He hasn't gotten injured yet, and that for me is a big plus and a big blessing for Arsenal if we are looking at it from that point of view. But yeah, the press conference, what Mikel Arteta said after Crystal Palace. This is my first time seeing this. I haven't taken any football into me since the game. Haven't checked anything, so this will be the first time I'm looking at this. So let's see. On reaching our Carabao Cup semifinals, I'm very happy. We're in the semifinal. It's where we wanted to be. I'm really happy considering the amount of change that we've made, the cohesion and the energy, the quality that the team showed against a team that is very, very well organized and concedes very few chances. The thing is, this was the same team, more or less copy-paste, that literally 4 days ago or 3 days before got annihilated by Leeds United 4-1 at Ellen Road. It was pretty much the same team. So this stuff is definitely not working. We generated a lot. In the first half, yes. In the second half, not so much. When there have been much bigger of 94, it wasn't that it happens. Other teams, that was emotionally tough to accept up with the way the game went. But I think we stayed calm. We showed great composure and quality. In the penalty shootout. Yeah, penalties were very, very good. Penalties were very decent. Kepa dove the wrong way pretty much every single time, apart from the last penalty he saved. So it was very, 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 very interesting. Big up, Andrew. Big up. Merry Christmas to you too, Andrew. Hope you're doing well. Smash the likes. Big up, BBK. Big up, BBK. Merry Christmas to you too, brother. Merry Christmas to you too, brother. Hopefully you're doing fine, spending time with family, friends, and everything. Hope everything's fine with you. On the fine margins on our recent matches, that's what we want. You want small. I'm not saying I really hate to be like this on Christmas and time of miracles and stuff like that, but on the small margins in our recent matches, you want small margins in the recent matches. Like that definitely doesn't compute well with me, because you had all the chances to be 3-4 nothing up by halftime and the game is done, and you persist on sitting back, then conceding, and then basically looking like deer in headlights, looking crapping your pants every time they go on the attack. That definitely is not sitting with me well. I'm not gonna lie. We don't want small margins. We want annihilate teams. I think what we have to do is to continue to generate the chances that we do and concede nothing. I think we've conceded only one shot again. One shot. Okay, I'm gonna quickly check, but I definitely believe it wasn't one shot. Am I on 23rd? I think so. England, Arsenal versus Crystal Palace stats. Arsenal conceded, one shot on target against Crystal Palace, but that one shot at the end of the day resulted in Arsenal drawing the game. And if it was in Premier League, we would have lost two valuable points. We had some very big open chances and we didn't score. Yeah, but that's our fault, isn't it? On managing the squad selection during the busy period, I see it as a privilege. You see it as a privilege that you have so many players injured that you're playing a midfielder at center back. That is definitely a very well-spoken word. On the edge of my seat for that next comeback. Big up AFC always. Merry Christmas to you too, brother. Big up. I'm fuming. Receive the bill. What the hell is it like electricity bill or something? Did you get the electricity bill or something like that? What else could it be? Because the attitude of the players make our job joy. We had situations where we didn't have a choice and up front for many months. We have a situation now. We have a situation in the back line, but it doesn't matter. We have situations like, so Christian Mosquera is not a human anymore. He's a situation. It sounds like a matrix, very hard. Like Kepa, like any player who's in there constantly. Whatever the role that they have on their day-to-day training, they will fulfill it. And then when they play, they want that they do, blah, blah, blah. Whether he felt more invested than usual tonight, yeah, obviously, I want bigger margin. I wanted a bigger margin. So, on the fine margins in our recent matches, that's what we want. He wants small, fine margins. On whether he felt more invested, I want bigger margin. Then go figure yourself out. You're contradicting yourself mid-interview. Go figure this out. I want smaller margins. No, but I want bigger margins. Like, seriously, it's like talking to a woman. Like, doesn't know what she wants. Like, come on, man. Because I know there's a team that doesn't need much. In one of those passes, they can attack your box and hurt you, and we discussed that as well. And then, because I wanted to keep everybody on their toes and alive. On their toes and alive, and understand the importance of the game. And the margins are very small when you want to win trophies, until we have to pay attention to every detail to achieve that. On what narrow wins do to our team morale? Yeah, you have to win in different situations and contexts. Blah, blah, blah. Jesus' performance. I'm so happy. And this was his 100th appearance for Arsenal today. Holy crap. Could have been like 190th if he wasn't injured all the time. That explains the journey that he has. On Norgard's impact, very well. He did very well. Okay. On Martinelli and Hinkapie, well, here we go. Martinelli is more of a knock, and he wasn't comfortable to carry on after the second half. So why did you play him for about 20 minutes still then? So Martinelli might not be available for the Brighton game, right? With Piero, yeah, something different because he picked up an injury against Everton, yet he still played the full 90, and he didn't play against against Crystal Palace. Yeah, definitely not looking good. Definitely not looking good. Merry Christmas, Marlon. Big up to you. Merry Christmas to you, my guy. Yeah, whole team was celebrating penalty shootout. Like, there were players who did not celebrate them scoring the goal. Some of them pretty much, it felt like are going to take off their shirts and just yeehaw and run around and all this stuff. The mentality is so low, feels that way. Only person had the winning mentality was Sliba and Declan Rice as well, I think. And Timber didn't celebrate. Timber didn't celebrate as well. Like, they, after the scoring goals, they didn't. Ethan, yeah, free Ethan. We need to start this movement. Ethan is low-key getting the Manu treatment, and there are people saying, go get him from United. I'm not gonna lie, I am very open to this possibility, and I would not be against for Arsenal to signing Kobe Mano. I definitely would not. I actually rate Kobe Mano. Now, I know United fans, and I know United fans, there are some that think that he is somewhat limited. That is also due to the position he plays, and also he doesn't have a distinct position like a 6 or an 8 or a 10 or whatever. But I think in Arsenal's team, where I'm not gonna lie, most of the players don't have distinct position, I think that would be very good. No. I would never switch that. I'd rather take Maino on loan and pay his wages than give you Ethan. Ethan will want to go to Syria. I don't think he will want to go to Spurs, but I wouldn't be surprised that he goes out on loan, because the way Ethan gets treated, it's actually kind of embarrassing. I feel sorry for the kid, because it's very evident that he is better than big part of our attack in general, our wingers, number 10s or whatever, however you want to describe them. And he literally gets almost no minutes at all. Almost no minutes at all. This was the game where he could have played against Palace. He doesn't get onto the pitch. By the way, Arteta even used only 4 subs. Arteta used only 4 subs out of the 5 he had. And when the Crystal Palace scored a goal, right, made it 1-1, he didn't even sub on, for example, Gyökeres for the penalties. He kept him on the bench. As soon as we scored the goal, Lacroix scored their own goal, let's just put it that way. He took off the striker and put on a midfielder or defender. I don't remember now which one he put on, but he definitely put on not a striker. Like, it was actually insane. Just to spite us for letting the Shin man stay here for long, and I'll treat him as his fair. No, I don't want Manu. I want justice for Ranieri. Arteta has his favorites. Yeah, that is obvious. Arteta has his favorites. For me personally, if we talk about Manu, I think he would be decent. If Arteta wants to use these players in these unique positions as he wants to talk about, play Merino at striker when you want to. Maybe try Kobe Mano in the midfield, because we need a midfielder. No team is going to give us one of their best midfielders unless we play like 60 million or 70 million, and it's very evident Arsenal are not going to do that. I wouldn't say no to Kobe Mano. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Kobe Mano actually could fit Arsenal very, very well. I think, but whether that's going to happen or not would be just a question mark if he signs. The same thing is, would Man United loan Arsenal player? No, they wouldn't. United are not Arsenal. Arsenal will sell their players to Chelsea, City, United, whoever. None of those teams are willing to sell some of their players to us, unless it's like Havertz or Madueke, some of their furthest players they don't even want at the club. Let's be real. And it's also evident, to be honest, United don't want Manu at the club. But I rate Kobe Manu, personally. The thing is, some United fans think that he's very limited and everything. But I think maybe he needs a change. Wouldn't be against that. Best case scenario for Ethan Ranieri, in this regard, I'd say loan him out. Genuinely loan him out till the end of the season. Because I strongly doubt that he's going to get any substantial minutes unless, let's just say, Madueke and Saka both are out long term. Like, seriously, there's no other way. I don't see Ranieri playing minutes. I'm serious. Odegaard, Havertz, Merino. Why Havertz twice? All internationals even better than Daman. Yeah. Like, that's enough. All of them are dog shit, terrible. Not one about them. Big up twisted, bubble. Swap white. No. No chance in hell. I'm telling you, I much rather take Kobe Mano on loan. Kobe Mano on loan for 6 months, since he's only on 25,000 a week. 25,000 a week. I much rather take Kobe Mano on loan and loan Ranieri out to somebody else, if that is the case, or prerogative that any people want to see. than loan us Meno and give them Meno. Much rather. Even if they loan or sell Meno, Ted can't handle this type of players. He wants, yeah. That is the other thing. Kobe Mano, like, I don't know what's happening there. I need to talk to Rasta Stocks, Carl, Akevin. I need to talk about with more United fans about the Kobe Mano situation. But it feels like they have locked horns and nobody is about to cave in at the end of the day, and it looks like he might be on the outs in January. Saying that, by the way, Bruno Fernandes has gotten injured, right? We all saw that. It looks like Kobe Mano actually might be staying in January, by the way, because there are talks as well with Bruno Fernandes injury. Kobe Mano is staying at the club. Swap Merino and Odegaard for me. Who are you, Merino? Who are you talking about? How can we swap a player for a player we already have? Marlon, wake up. I know it's Christmas, but wake up. Leave Yeri here is his former academy dangerous player. People want to know why Mark Gehi didn't celebrate after equalizer when the game we saw Saka and Madueke. Yeah, I don't know. But for me, that's just professionalism. He is the captain of Crystal Palace. He realizes the magnitude of the situation that they draw. They cannot lose focus, get caught in the emotion for the last minutes still of the game because Arsenal are going to go for the winning goal more chances than not. He just wanted to see it out to penalties. After the game, when Saka was talking to Gehi, Eze was talking to Gehi, then Arteta came along. I don't know, Eze, give a high five an Eze or something, or Margehi, don't remember now. That could be interesting, but I still believe that he is going to go. I still think Gehi is going to leave, but most likely it's Liverpool. Was what Gehi did. In my opinion, it was professionalism. He's the captain. He tries to keep himself grounded, so he's on full focus because he's a defender, and he tries to also let everyone else know that they should be still focused. Gehi is Liverpool. Yeah, he has. Swap Merino and Odegaard for Merino. It's good business. Gets rid of Odegaard sneakily. That's what Marlon maybe is trying to do. I don't know. Genuinely don't know. Plus, he doesn't want an Arsenal. Like, it's very interesting. At Arsenal defenders, it would be interesting to see how those things develop and go around. But Maino on 25 grand a week definitely would not be the worst case. Maino at 25 grand a week, definitely not. Liverpool getting Gehi will help them defend. Yeah, definitely. Especially if the rumors, let's just put it that way, are true that potentially Konate might be leaving, they definitely need a replacement. And Mark Gehi most likely is going to be it. Then they need to maybe find somebody else. They need to sign at least 2-3 defenders, personally, to actually be back in the talks because they are not it. They are not it. They're going all across the board. Van Dijk is aging. He gets injuries. Konate as well. He's slipping up, and no pun intended with Liverpool in that regard. I think Liverpool are in a bit of an instance where they need quite a few defenders for future and for now as well. Our defenders get more room to attack our whole attack and do anything in the attack, which, like, overall, that is not the case, but I get the point because looking at the game against Palace, Timber was at striker. It felt like Skelly was pushing up. Quite a few of our players, even in regular Premier League games, Timber and Calafiori, both of them sometimes are much, much more further forward than actually our attackers. They are joining the attack force. Sometimes even Saliba takes the ball and carries it himself to the next part. I'm not gonna lie, but not per se. But yeah, in my thing, I think Gehi will stay at Palace until Gehi is gonna stay there till summer. Now, that is the case. Gehi is going to be there till summer. The question is where he's going to go afterwards. There's more talk about that. Gehi is not... I don't think any of the Crystal Palace big players are going to leave in January. At least I don't think so. In the summer, though, I genuinely can see Mateta leaving to Serie A. I can see Gehi leaving. potentially Sarr leaving, Wharton leaving, and on top of all that, Glasner as well. There is like you don't see teams getting raided so heavily often, but based on the Crystal Palace's last two and a half year achievements and how under Glasner they have changed, I would not be surprised that that would be the case. That on certain note they instantly the team just gets raided. There are lots of holes. They will try to fix it. They will scrape bottom of the barrel relegation fights. And it's going to be rough for them for the next few years after next summer. There could be that. Definitely could be that, because it seems like that get traded quite easily. They will get the money. Obviously, questions are how well they will invest that money. That obviously goes with that, but we'll see. They have to play slow. Hold on. Roma and Milan do need a striker so much. Yeah, exactly. Apparently, Gasperini wants to get rid of Ferguson. AC Milan are signing Fulkrug from West Ham on a 6-month loan, if I'm not mistaken. If I am not mistaken right now. I think I read it yesterday, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, something like that. But in the summer, yeah, Mateta is being linked to AC Milan already long term. He's also being linked, ironically enough, with United still. Interesting. Yeah, even Pino. I wanted Pino at the time at Arsenal a few years back. I wanted Pino at Arsenal. Watching him at Villarreal, he was a very nice and very exciting player. I thought that could do well for us on the left wing. Unfortunately, we don't. Big up abs. Big up abs. Waffled on dot. Waffled on dot. Big up abs. Hope you're doing well today. Merry Christmas to you too, brother. Merry Christmas. Hope everything's fine with you and spending time with you and your loved ones and everything. Hope everything's very chill and relaxed. And they brought Ferguson last summer. And yeah, Gasperini apparently is not a big fan of Ferguson. Apparently, he is not a big fan of Ferguson. Let's just put it that way. Chukwueze, not sure. Oh, yeah, you mean Villarreal. Chukwueze, AC Milan. Baena went to Atletico Madrid for 45 million euros. I would have loved for Arsenal to sign Baena for the left wing last summer, but obviously we didn't. So it is what it is. We much rather sign Madueke. Alvarez, I don't think we're getting Alvarez. He's not a fan of Dovbyk either. Yeah, I've noticed he's not a fan of Dovbyk either. But even if you look at the team that Gasperini had at Atalanta, let me check this quickly. Because I'm looking at this, and literally when I look at this Atalanta team, they had Scamacca up top, but overall they have Lukman, De Ketelaere, and they had that that striker, now I'm blanking. Obviously he was injured, but Rugani, and then not Rugani, but fucking hell, my brain is lost. But yeah, I get what you mean. Dovbyk was sick in La Liga. Dovbyk was good for one good season, because that was his 2 seasons. He was at Girona, one good season. That was together with Yankuto, who is at Borussia Dortmund right now, with Savio. Like that team that they used to have, that one season when Girona was flying high, with Dovbyk, Yankuto, Savio, obviously Daly, Blind, Van de Beek, and everyone else, with Michel Sanchez, that was fantastic to watch. They played some phenomenal football. A team of the size of Luton Town, pretty much, just threw the maximum amount of challenge to Barcelona, to Real Madrid. It was phenomenal at the time. It was phenomenal. And then obviously, what did you expect when teams like that perform? Their best players get absolutely picked apart. Absolutely picked apart, and that's what happened. And now let's see how it goes, because Girona are not doing that good in La Liga at the moment. Obviously, they are fighting relegation. I'm not gonna lie, but they just signed Echeverri on loan from Man City. It's gonna be very interesting. Echeverri is going there. If Man City signs Semenyo, I can see a reason why Savio might be loaned out. And if he goes back to Girona, it could be very, 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 very interesting to see how Girona shape up if they actually get also Savio and Echeverri together, because I think Echeverri in La Liga is gonna cook. He's gonna be very, very good. Gasperini and Roma ain't really greasing gears. Like they don't. It feels like they don't mix well, but Roma are not doing that bad, are they? Yeah, they had Retegui. Yeah, and everything, and he's now in Saudi. Yeah. Guman CDM. What do you mean? The near top of the league, he's doing fine. He is doing fine. Yeah. Big up, BBK. Big up. Merry Christmas to you too, once again, people. Listen to BBK. Let's get it up to 20 likes if we can. If we're not there already. Lookman is doing good right now. With Lookman, the issue was the start of the season. Overall, last season it was a 50-50, but this season as well. Atalanta were struggling. They lost Gasperini. They got a new manager who was absolutely, to say the least, crap for them, for the way they wanted to play, right? And the players disappeared. Now that they have gone the new manager in the last few games, they're actually doing very fine. They're actually doing very, very fine, right? And Atalanta are slowly climbing up. They are 9th. They at some point were very, very low in the table. So I think overall, Lookman is coming back. They just need the right manager with the right system and everything. Big up, Bargav. Big up. What we thinking about the final 2 games of the year? Brighton. Well, we're gonna get to predicted 11 and predictions, but I think Brighton is gonna be 2-1. We're gonna win against Aston Villa. Well, the closer that game is gonna come, we're gonna look, because I want to see how we go through Brighton game, how many injuries, who comes back and who doesn't. Because even though that Aston Villa game is literally just 5 days away, it feels like a century, because lots of things can happen in 5 days. Dovbyk is a lock. He's pretty much Dovbyk is a good striker if you use him properly. Dovbyk is a very good striker. He has very good first touch. He can finish with both feet. He is good with heading, and he has very good positioning as well. If you actually have a manager who knows how to use him, and if you play to his strengths like he did at Girona under Michel Sanchez with Savio and Yankuto on the both wings, he was fantastic. You just need the right personnel. I just put it that way. I like Dovbyk. He's actually very, very good. Atalanta had a shit show. Now they have the new manager. They're actually doing very good. They're actually doing not that bad. They have climbed back up. They are 9th in the league. And, let's just put it that way. They're 1 win away from Conference League and 3 wins away. Well, literally 3 wins away from, top 4. So they are not that far off. They still have time. But in front of them, the teams that are there, like Juventus, Roma, Napoli, Inter, AC Milan, it's going to be a tough climb for them to get somewhere there. They can get in Conference League, I think, but Champions League might be a bit of a tall order. Then again, there's still 23 games to go for them, so who knows? How would you use him then, Robo? Who? Bentner? Just like he got used at Girona. You need specific time. You see, the way Girona played with the wingers they had and how they played the quick, expansive football like we used to play in 22-23 season, something similar. Not fully, but something in that kind. Playing very, very good to Dovbyk's strengths and obviously to Savio's and Yankuto's strengths. Hence why they were the 3 hot prospects from that team. And they instantly went. Savio to City, Yankuto went to Borussia Dortmund. To City, Borussia Dortmund, and Dovbyk instantly went to, obviously, to Roma. I personally think the move for Dovbyk to Roma was the wrong move. That I'm going to tell you that much. I think Savio as well was a 50-50. I didn't think he's going to work out for City. He's getting there, but I think if they sign Semenyo, he might go out on loan, potentially. But yeah, I think that the Dovbyk move, he would have been better if he moved somewhere else. And for 30 million euros, something like that, he could have gone anywhere else. If someone's comparing Martinelli to Neymar, you might as well block them instantly. Chelsea, I don't think so, but might. Chelsea, Girona, Tsigankov. They had Tsigankov as well. Their link up was decent, and Tsigankov is a better player overall. Well, Tsigankov is a winger, midfielder, right mid, more than a striker. Dovbik is just an out-and-out striker. That moves atrocious rumors. Yeah, but Giron actually are doing well. Giron are doing well. I just wish that overall they could. Sometimes when you watch these smaller teams, the way they perform, right? I just wish they were not picked apart so quickly and so easily by the bigger teams. Obviously, you want the money, you want to grow, you want to reinvest, and all this stuff. But sometimes I just look at these teams, I just sit there and I wish that maybe for 2-3 more seasons they could just add to their team and they would not lose some of their best players. Like, that would be very interesting to see how that team would go. But obviously, that's not how the world works. That's just a wishful thinking. That's a hypothetical scenario. And we are where we are with that. But for example, even if I look at Brighton, for example, if you look at Brighton's team, the players they have sold, and you look at the team they could have had even 3-4 years back, and they could have kept all of those players even from the last 2-3 years they have sold, and they could keep them, they would be, with this Premier League, how shit it is at the moment, I would say top 14. There's a big possibility of that. Very big possibility of that, in my opinion. Villarreal, they took their spot. Villarreal is one of those teams that is almost there, but not there. And when they have a drop off, they drop off for a few years, but they instantly come back. For me, Villarreal, since that promotion they got from Segunda years back, they have been actually very, very solid. Betis, Isco, and Anthony link-up is deadly. Yeah, the Real Betis team, I like to watch Real Betis personally. That's just my personal preference. And I wanted Isco at Arsenal when he was at Real Madrid, right? And obviously, we signed Odegaard, sadly. I would have wanted Isco over him personally. And people call me deluded, dumb, stupid, but for me, Isco is miles better player. Obviously, there's a bit of biasness in that because I have been a fan of Isco since the old school Malaga days in 2011, 2010, 2012. Remember those Champions League games they played against Borussia Dortmund, right? That semi-final and everything. I've been a fan of Isco for the longest time, and I just wish we could have signed a player like that. Yeah, Isco is a fantastic one. Unfortunately, last year or so, he has had 2 horrific injuries, like broken leg and something else, which really, at his age, is not ideal. It really has slowed him down. But overall, he still performs to a high level, very high level. I love Isco, man. I just said that I don't hate Dovbik. He has Zinchenko syndrome. He would be good in a smaller team playing to their strength, but they have a bigger club, especially. Yeah, and that is the thing. There are quite a few of these players who would be very good if they stayed at their current club or they moved to a different club that is maybe a step upwards, a 1 step upwards, not 3-4, you just leap some steps. Because if you move, let's just say, I don't even know, let's just say from Girona, so if you move from Girona to Villarreal, something like that, okay, cool. But if you move from Girona instantly to Real Madrid, that is way too far of a jump, and some of these players just cannot carry it and cannot take it. Let's just put it that way. Very, very, very few can, unless you have the right manager who can actually bed you in and figure you out or something like that, unless you have some special circumstances, let's just put it that way, playing in your favor. Luckily, he was always slow, so he knows how to deal with it. Man, Isco, Isco the disco. Used to like Isco. Still do, to be honest. Like, that's a bit different. Anyways, let's step aside from random football chair. We need to do the predicted 11. Arsenal versus Brighton in, 1.5 days. Name 5 La Liga players you would take at Arsenal right now? Specifically right now. Pedri. I would take Pedri. I would take I'm just thinking about this. Camavinga, Pedri, Camavinga. I'm just thinking about Agume from Sevilla. There is a like. Let me check quickly. I need to find specific player if I can find him. Because I don't want to get this wrong quickly. Well, there I would have taken obviously Pino, but he's not at La Liga anymore, so that's a bit different discussion right now. So it is what it is. I would take Alex Baena from Atletico Madrid as well, and 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 we're starting to think of the players. And Oyhan Sunset from Athletic Bilbao. The 5 players. Those are the 5. Oyhan Sunset. Who did I even say? Fucking hell, I already forgot. Oyhan Sunset, Alex Baena, Agume. Who else did I say? I literally have forgotten I have said already. Who did I else said? Agume, Sunset, Camavinga. Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Camavinga and I said somebody else. And Pedri. Yeah, those 5. I just put it that way. I'll just put it that way. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, day 11. Day 11. I'd take, like, knowing how these things tend to go, right? I'm just gonna put it this way. Knowing Mikel Arteta, is this a bad assumption? Odegaard is not a bad player. Those who like him exaggerate how good he is, and those who hate him exaggerate how bad he is. It was a good move to bring in Eze. Now we have options. I'm not saying Odegaard is a bad player. For me, the thing is, if I have seen how good a player can be at this club, right? It's very hard, and that will be the measuring stick I'm gonna judge him from. Because the 22-23 season showed us how good Martinelli can be, how good Odegaard can be. And that is the measuring stick. And so far, in the last 3 years since then, both of them have not been nowhere close to that. The other thing is, though, if you take into account Mikel Arteta's system, Mikel Arteta's style, how he has changed it and everything, our players are heavily, and I mean heavily, underperforming. There is no chance in hell that the players we have, who we have seen how good they can be, are literally playing worse than some of the championship level players. There's no chance in hell. Players cannot be that bad. And if you go by the standards they have set from themselves before, they are shit at the moment. I'm sorry. They are bad. They are bad. Let's just put it that way. They are underperforming because our players cannot be as bad as they are. And they are not. Let's be real. Our players are not as bad as they are portraying themselves on the pitch. The thing is, the style Arteta wants to play and the system Arteta wants to play does not do them any favors. Because it's very evident that it's Mikel Arteta's way or the highway. And unfortunately, since it's their job, they have to listen to their manager. So at the end of the day, if you want to get paid, you have to listen. So they have to execute what it's getting told to them. And that's why, in my opinion, they are not playing to their full potential. The other thing is it on them as well? Yes, 100% it is on the players as well. 100%. But at the end of the day, who controls the players? The manager. Who selects the players? The manager. Who wants to play a certain system or style? It's the manager. And at the end of the day, everything starts and stops with the manager. Let's just put it that way. At the end of the day, the penny drops at the manager. There is no other ways to say this at the end of the day. Why my camera went out of focus? For fuck's sake. Camera is on a holiday break as well. Was not expecting to stream today. Yeah, probably what Arteta would go for. So I would accept Eze for Odegaard. I don't think so. Odegaard didn't start against Palace, so I expect him to start. I expect him to start against Brighton. Even though I don't think it's going to be the best available option, I still believe he's going to start. I actually want to see more from Eze. This seems really surprised by this. Well, there are lots of these players. Yeah. You know, knowing 6 languages has its advantages. Let's just put it that way. Knowing 6 languages and how to swear in 9 has its advantages. Let's just put it that way. Odegaard is not bad. He's limited. Yeah. I'd say he's bad if he would took up another manager's instructions and views and still fell. The thing is, Odegaard, he's the captain. He should lead by example. He should show what is what. He should instill the example for other players. Unfortunately, based on performances, they have picked up the wrong player. And yes, Odegaard is not as bad as we have seen him in the last 2.5 years. At the same time, it's on the player as well if he doesn't perform. Unfortunately, we have lots of yes men because I'm not gonna lie, if some players had the backbone, actually, they would stand up to the manager or they would hand in a transfer request. Unfortunately for them, the payday at Arsenal is miles better than anywhere else in any club they will get, more or less, most likely ever at this stage, unless they go to Saudis. Right? So it's kind of a bit of a predicament, which is a double-edged sword. So either it goes both ways. I can swear in 12, no, 3 fluent in 2 more means galore in 1 more. Yeah, same. That is the advantage. I can swear in like 8 or 9. I know 6, and I'm fluent in 4 of them. 2 of them it's a 50-50, depending on situation. What I have to talk about. Like at the end of the day. But yeah, this is my starting 11. Because so far I haven't seen any images because it's Christmas. Nobody's training. Everyone's chilling. Arteta hasn't conducted press conference, so that we don't know anything. No inklings, no ins and outs. But then again, Arteta doesn't even tell the truth in the interviews half the time, so who knows? But overall, I don't expect Hincapié to be back. Gabriel is still out, as far as I can tell. Maybe he will be back. Well, rushed back, let's be real. So Calafiori goes center back, just like he did against Palace. Skelly will have to play left back, which is going to be rough for him, definitely. Zubimendi is going to start. Rice came on for the last, 12 minutes? So he's definitely gonna. Odegaard didn't start against against Palace as I did, so I expect Eze be on the bench. Best case scenario overall, he would be left wing, but we all know that Eze on the left wing is definitely not something we want to see. So hence why I'm going with this. Gyökeres didn't play a second against Palace, so I'm definitely starting him. Saka played a few minutes, Trossard, so I think this will be the 11. It's just a shame we cannot give a rest for to specific players at the moment. Yeah, there is a very nice game tomorrow in the evening. United versus Newcastle. It's gonna be an interesting one, 100%. Oh no. I want more of those Friday games. Monday. Monday games are bad. Like, seriously, I'd rather have a game in the Friday evening when I can chill and relax than on Monday evening. 100%. 100%. For the result of the game, as a prediction, right, for the game, I'm going 2-1 Arsenal. Based on the last 3 games, yes, we have won all of those games, but 3 games, we have scored 1 penalty and 3 own goals. That's about it. We haven't scored ourselves from open play, nothing. With Gabriel out, our set pieces are as useful as a knife in a gunfight, right? So we basically are a nothing at the moment. At the moment, we are that's why I'm going 2-1 Arsenal. 2-1 Arsenal for the game, and it will be interesting to see how that goes at the end of the day. That's my prediction. What are your predictions? Leave it down in the chat. Like the stream as well. Subscribe if you're new, and let me know down in the chat what are your predictions for the game against Brighton on Saturday. How Man United will play without Bruno. It is going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting because Bruno Fernandes doesn't get injured pretty much at all over time. He hasn't been injured pretty much at all. So United without Bruno, without their captain, it's going to be interesting, definitely. You mean a chocolate teapot? Basically, yeah, something like that. Something like that. Chocolate teapot and I don't know, 99-year-old grandpa on Viagra, something like that. Brighton 1-0. You think Arsenal are going to lose? You think we're going to be drunk from the holiday? One holiday we had and we're going to lose? 3-1 to Arsenal. Believe. That sleeping pig can take much more beating, referring to the pig meme getting kicked and saying play. No. It's going to be interesting. For me, the biggest part is that we played against Crystal Palace with Eze in the 10 and Jesus in the 9, and we looked very, very good. The more we can see that, the more fantastic it's going to be. It's going to be interesting. Will we see that in Premier League? Would Jesus even start the game? I don't think so. I don't think Jesus is going to start. 2 starts in a row, I'm not sure Arteta will sign up for that one at the moment. Definitely not too sure about that one. Big up, McGinn. Big up. Merry Christmas. Hope you're doing well. Our attack is toothless, by the way. We aren't going to get lucky with an own goal or a pen. Well, you never know that. Like, how long that's going to go, I don't know. I genuinely don't know how long that's going to last. I'm going 2-1 Arsenal. We're going to score, maybe. Might be also a penalty or something like that. A set piece, most likely. Big up, TKA. Big up. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, and Merry Crisis and Merry Christmas and Merry Chrysler and a Merry Ice Cream and all this good stuff. I think we'll win 2-0, hopefully. I want another clean sheet. I would love to have a clean sheet. Arsenal at home, by the way, currently are still unbeaten, if I'm not mistaken. Arsenal still at home are unbeaten this season, so that is something I'm holding on to literally like for my life at the moment. That is going to be the reason. The issue is the last 3 games we haven't scored a goal. Our top goal scorer is Gyökeres with 5, if I'm not mistaken. And a guy named Own Goal Arsenal have signed mid-season as a free agent. He has 3 goals so far for Arsenal this season. He's almost as much as our top goal scorer, which is kind of nuts, I'm not going to lie. And, of course, a penalty. So last 4 goals have been 3 own goals and a penalty. So it's not too great from open play. And when we have created from open play, we have mishit it heavily or the keeper makes a wonder save. It's definitely not a good sign in that regard. But at some point, those goals need to come. They have to go into the back of the net. The only thing is, playing with Eze in the 10 and Jesus in the 9, we looked much more threatening in the attack. Let's see what Gyökeres shows on Saturday, because I expect Gyökeres to start on Saturday just for the sheer fact he didn't play a second against Palace. 1-0 like Everton. I see. Everyone's injured. White is injured. Gabriel is injured. Mosquera is injured. Hincapie is injured. Luckily, Saliba is still kicking around. I think Timber is somewhere near the red zone. Declan Rice is somewhere near the red zone. Zubimendi is near the red zone. And rest of the guys, we'll see. Most likely, Calafiori is going to be center back again. Haven't heard anything about Hincapie potentially even being back, or Gabriel even, for center backs. 2-0 Arsenal, 3-0 Brighton. Hey, Oaxaca, relax. You have to worry about Newcastle tomorrow. I would focus attention on that at the moment, with Bruno Fernandes being out. Jesus might start. It's not that hard. Yeah, that is the thing. Then again, Jesus is still, let's just say, coming back from injury, right? And he started against Palace. I think Gyökeres is going to start because he played 0 minutes. But I think Jesus definitely around 60th to 65th minute, somewhere in that time frame, he's going to come on as a sub. I expect that at least, 100%. That will end on Tuesday, if not Saturday. Wait. Yeah, we'll see. You'll see this at St. Brighton defense will probably get better. The thing is, we played Brighton in Carabao Cup, remember? Before we played Crystal Palace. And in the first 20 minutes of the game, we could have been 4-0 down. 3-4-0 down. And we weren't. They just mishit and everything. We got very lucky. Also for Brighton, there is a boost so that apparently Danny Welbeck is back from injury, which is great news for them. More problems for us. Let's just put it that way. So it's going to be interesting to see. Going to be interesting. Funnily enough, it feels like we had more in-game pens now than through the whole last season. Maybe not. I don't even know. Maybe not. Wait, another 3-3 fest format. Nah, it's not gonna be that. I don't think so. The game is gonna finish 3-1. In which favor, I don't know. Which team is the home team tomorrow? Oh, the game is at Old Trafford. I see. The game is at Old Trafford. Wouldn't be surprised if we sign 2 CBs and left. I will be surprised if we sign 4 players in one window, and that is January, and those will be good players. I would be surprised as hell. You're talking about Arsenal here. You realize that, right? Hammer him out. Well, to be fair, the team functioned better. Yeah, it did. It did. Because of the tactics. We use Gyökeres as if he's Jesus, and that is a big issue for us. If you notice, we had nobody in the box. That's where Arteta needs to adapt to strike like a different. See? I've been banging this drum you're saying right now since the start of the season, and people call me dumb and deluded. Quite a few. But I've been saying this. We use Gyökeres as if he is Jesus or Havertz, as a false 9 who drops deep to link up play and all this stuff, not as a player who should be in the box. Because it's very evident Arteta doesn't want that. Clearly, we are not scoring this way. Yeah, 100%. I'm in Bernard Senna. Well, best case scenario, 1 body. Best case. And it's a body, not quality. Exactly. Big up, Rashid. Big up, Rashid. Big up. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's fine with you on this beautiful, what day is it even today? I have lost track of days. Thursday. On this beautiful Thursday. Hope everything's fine. Go subscribe to level-headed Arsenal fan Rashid, people. Go subscribe to Rashid. Show him some love. Another Arsenal fan. Top guy. Top content. Says it as it is. Shoots straight from the hip. A proper Arsenal fan, people. Go show him some love. Yeah, but Bert is here now and he does things with sense of courage. That is the case, saying that. If you, how to say this? If you listen to Arsenal PR machine, a.k.a. The Athletic, a.k.a. David Ornstein, right? He said that we should expect a very silent January, very silent window. Arsenal are not expected to do much. Arsenal might go into the market if Arsenal sells someone. Only then, and there is also no saying who we are going to sell, right? On top of all that, there have been some notions from these journalists that even if Arsenal get a big injury, they are still not going in the market. I'm not trusting that because I would think that Arsenal at least have a brain cell and they would try to fix some mistakes they left from summer and also prepare for next summer and next window. But knowing Arsenal, as I always say, if it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it. So go figure. Big up Mustafa. Arsenal mod, one of the most, yes, I would say 100%. 100%, I would say so. 100%. Arteta is still a heavier side, but yeah, that is the case. That is the case. That is the case. Arteta has a still quite massive say. I heard that we don't have a budget. Yeah, that's why we loan Hinkapie. Yeah, Hinkapie is loan with option. It's not even obligation, but option to buy. But I expect Arsenal to buy him next summer, right? Because it goes to the next year's books and all that crap they push around, right? PSR, FFP, PSN, and the DSR and the DRS and all this crap. They put together 3 random letters and they figured it means something, right? But this, as far as I can see, best case scenario how Arsenal are gonna sign someone is loan with option obligation to buy, or we gonna sell someone big, and we then gonna use that money to buy someone bigger. But otherwise, I don't see Arsenal doing anything this window at all. We are linked with Madrid left back youngster heavily, and Jesus is linked with, like, everyone's linked with everyone. Everyone is linked with everyone. Yeah, let me tell you this one. I already have seen these links, and I already have seen that every team has denied him. Juventus denied him because Jesus is too injury prone. That's what I have seen from Toto Juve. That's what I read from Italian reports in Toto Juve, that they are denying Jesus because he is too injury prone. AC Milan very interested because they needed a striker, but they are signing Füllkrug from West Ham. So they are also not gonna get Jesus. They are also not going for Jesus. Füllkrug is signing to AC Milan. Deal in place, loan till the summer. And there is a buy option for around 13 million, but it's an option, not an obligation. None of those teams can afford Jesus unless he's sold dirt cheap and takes massive salary cut. Exactly. Italian teams are, well, they don't spend. They will milk cash from you like it's crazy for their players. But when they buy, they want to buy for cheap. I think Arsenal will swap him with someone. Hopefully, I think Arsenal wanted to swap Jesus for Jonathan David from Juventus. And they declined. Juventus declined because Jesus is too injury prone. The salary difference between Jesus and Jonathan David is about 80 grand as well. Jonathan David is on like 200,000 euros a week. Jesus is like 280 euros a week. Again, this is a summer signing, best case scenario. All these links are summer signings. Let's be real. Jesus talking about unfinished business. It's concerning, though. He doesn't want to give up. Exactly. Would you want to give up 265,000 a week? TK, imagine you work at a job where you get, let's just say, 12,000 a month. 12,000 a month, right? And they want to basically push you out from the office, but they don't have no probable cause. So they want to try to fire you somehow, but they don't have any probable cause. And the best next job you can find for yourself is for half that, 6 grand a month. You're never going to do it. You're going to stay there as long as you want. Let's be real. If you have a timed contract till specific time frame, you're going to stay there till that 2027. You want to milk as much as you can. Let's be real. Yeah, but Juve, they are not going to do that. Juventus cannot afford it at the moment as well. They are in a bit of a deep shit. Signing Ronaldo has put them in a bit of a deep shit. Let's just put it that way. Back in the day when they signed Ronaldo. No, exactly. But so, yeah, it was weird, definitely. Interval depend. Yeah, but and I don't know, this Baretzagi guy, right? He looks promising in Serie A, right? He's getting talked as the next Maldini. He is the next Maldini or some crap like that, they are saying. The same crap they said about Calafiori. Calafiori is like the next Maldini. I'm tired of these next Maldinis. Sick and tired. He's a left back / center back. I am also tired of these makeshift wannabe Pokemon Ditto type of players who can makeshift into any position they please or a manager pleases. Give me specialists as center backs, as wing backs, as strikers, as midfielders, and everything else. Oh, he's a good player. Ayudi is a very interesting player. Very, very interesting one. Like, it's actually insane. Our players don't play in the positions we have. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, give me a sec. But yeah, I think on that note, I'm gonna end today's stream. It's been a pleasure to having you on. Thank you for sparing this hour or however you long stayed on this beautiful Christmas evening. Obviously, there is no snow outside, so it feels like of a no Christmas whatsoever, but it is what it is. But thank you so much for being here. Like the stream, subscribe if you're new. Big up to everyone who joined. Big up Marlon, TKA, Wahaha, Darren, Rashid, Fusion, Abs, BBK, Andrew, Mubarak, big up Mustafa, big up everyone who dropped by, who dropped a comment, who talked, who shared their opinions. But for today, I'm gonna be signing off. So take care, stay safe, enjoy your Christmas, and hopefully gonna see you very, very, very soon. Peace.